obviously USC's got a bunch of challenges for your defense. What would you say would be like the number one of all the things that I know it's a loaded question, but
yeah, I think I don't know if there's a number one. They got good receivers, good quarterback, good offensive line, good running back. So it's really every level, right? We got to win up front, and their responsibilities that they got to handle in the back end. We got to be right on top in coverage and do a nice job with our eyes and staying in coverage. And then we got to be able to make this quarterback not be able to have a clean pocket and be able to deliver the ball, because when he does that, he's pretty good.
So what's number one on your check when you're talking to the team on Saturday? What's going to be number one on your checklist, I guess?
There's that's the funny thing. There's not one thing. It's what we talk about every week, though. But it's every phase handling their job, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take team defense, right, to play the way we need to play to win on Saturday. And so it's every individual, every group, and then as a unit doing their responsibilities to win this game.
This quarterback, who of the guys you've faced over your career, who does he remind you most of?
Oh, geez. I would say just his ability to throw and athleticism, probably Mariota. Just a guy that can beat you with his legs and beat you with his arm. That's probably the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah. I know you guys are going with the 1-0 every week and all that. And your approach, are you able to go a little different with these guys though, because they're such veterans that they kind of know they don't need to think too big of this game and all that when you're approaching a game like this?
Yeah, I don't think this is any different for us. I mean, in this conference and so far this year, we haven't played an easy opponent yet. We played two of the best in the Mountain West. We played a team that played for the national championship last year, and we got start conference play, which there's not going to be an easy game. So I think our guys know it. We've been through it. We've played tough teams, which is good for us to have gone through kind of those situations. 2 minute, we're down, we're up. We've kind of been through adversity, which I think will help us on Saturday.
When you play a team like you did on Saturday that has kind of a unique offensive approach, the adjustments you have to make for that, does any of that carry forward the rest of the season? Can you learn anything from that?
The biggest thing we learned, which was great, is they came out in a whole new offense personnel group, and we were able to, after that first drive, talk on the sideline with those guys, make adjustments, and they went out and executed them, which I think was a huge thing. And that's what happens when you got veteran guys that have played a lot. So I think that was great to have happen.
What are you looking forward to? Going undefeated last year and coming in this year, your first Pac-12 opponent is USC. Obviously, new coach. How was your feeling about just going into Pac-12 play, playing in Reser, that kind of pressure?
No, I think it's excitement. I think we're looking forward to it, playing again at home and then playing an opponent like USC. I mean, that's what you play this game for, is to play against the best, and we will on Saturday.
Was there much of anything off last year's video that you could use this week, or did you just totally burn that thing?
No, I mean, it's a totally different. Well, it's totally different players. I mean, the USC is a new team. I mean, I don't know. There aren't many players that were playing against us last year that are on that team, and scheme-wise, it's totally different. So we're focused on what they do, and that's really all we can go on.
They hardly spent any time even looking at last year.
No, I haven't even watched last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So then would you say, look at Oklahoma's from last, 3-4 years instead? I guess, I don't know how much he's tinkered and changed with it over the years.
Yeah,
but
you always look at coordinators and offensive guys, where they've been before to get what's in their history and what's in their package. So we watched some Oklahoma over the last couple of years to get a feel for the general scheme, and then what matches what they've done this year.
Through 3 weeks, have you seen what you've wanted to see from your defense?
For the most part, I think we've handled adversity well. We've had huge improvement on third down. That's been a strength for us. Red zone defense has been a strength. I think those were the two biggest areas coming in from last year. If we could change third down and red zone, we'll win more games just doing that alone. So that was a huge emphasis for us. So I'm very pleased with what they've done in those categories.
Do you think maybe you needed to face sort of the offense you faced last week at Montana State, a running quarterback, to get you more prepared for this week against Caleb Williams?
I mean, it helps. I mean, there's parts there that we learned about how we got to transition our feet, how we got to angles we got to tackle when a guy can move like him. So I think there is carryover, and it does help us, yeah.
Injury-wise, when we talk to Coach, it's mostly offense all the time. Your defensive unit, pretty good shape through 3 games, having everybody available. Yeah,
we've been pretty good for the most part. I mean, one here or there banged up, and one, I think, Corey missed one game, but he was back the next game, so nothing serious. So yeah, it's been good so far.
What would you say is the biggest improvement you've had since the start of fall camp that you feel like is really going to help you in terms of what you know about USC?
I think the D-line play. I think it's been pretty good the first 3 games, much better and improved from last year. And I think that's going to help us because USC's got a talented offensive line, and we're going to need to create some pressure back there for this quarterback. So I think that's been the biggest part.